Didn't I tell you to stop playing with that thing?
You're the one playing with it last time.
Well, yeah, and then that weird fucking gay thing came out of the closet, and I didn't want to play with it ever again.
Yeah, but that was you playing with it, not me.
So if you play with it, what's going to happen?
I don't know. I have no fucking idea.
Oh, well, let's get this on the road.
Okay.
What's going on, everybody? This is BroncoJuggalo.
And Bill.
And we are discussing 1988's Hellbound, Hellraiser 2. Once again, we have Doug Bradley playing Pinhead. We have Ashley Lawrence returning as Kirsty. We have Claire Higgins returning as Julia. We have a new Cenobite, same Cenobite, different actress. Barbie Wilde is now the female Cenobite. And Dr. Kennard is played by Kenneth Cranham. Right now I don't remember who played the director, but I'll put his name right below here. Because I can't find my fucking notes that I wrote it on. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Well, it does matter. Much props to him because it's a good fucking movie.
It is.
Oh.
This is a great movie.
Yeah, it's got its issues that I don't think the first one had, but it's still a really good follow-up. A solid sequel to the original.
Yes.
Julia is now in a institution.
It comes right. The movie follows up right after. Yeah,
like directly after. Yeah. They have her in a institution or a hospital. She wakes up there. They don't believe her stories, and they think she's crazy. Except there is one doctor who does believe her, but he has ulterior motives. His motives are he wants a little bit of what the Cenobites have to offer. Don't know why, but he does.
Yeah.
Some people are just weird.
Most people are.
He gets the mattress that Julia dies on, resurrects Julia. Julia starts taking out people just like Frank did, sucking them dry. It's almost like a vampire film in a way. Getting young off their juices. And...
Young off their juices.
Hey, that's what it comes out to.
Wow. I was reaching for this, and then he says, young off their juices. What?
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
Okay.
So it's up to Julia. God damn it, I did it again.
Kirsty. It's up to Kirsty.
It's up to Kirsty and her new boy toy to go basically into hell, or into the segment of hell that the Cenobites are from, and fight off the Leviathan Configuration, which is this big fucking god who turns Dr. Kennard into a Cenobite himself. Spoiler. If you haven't seen this, though, where the fuck have you been? And she's trying still to save her father's soul. Doesn't really work out the way she wants.
Never does.
But talk about a visually stunning movie. Great visuals.
Ooh, yes. Awesome visuals.
Love the labyrinth, all that stuff, so many great
beautiful.
So before we get into those pros and cons, though, a couple things to talk about. Nicholas Vince, who played the Chatterer in this one, during the ending, he got a hook in one of the. There's a scene where they're in a room filled with chains with hooks on them. He actually took a hook to the cheek and it ripped him up pretty good. The other storyline is that he wanted the Chatterer to have eyes. And
that doesn't work.
There is scenes in this movie where the Chatterer has eyes and then where he doesn't have eyes. Now what they did is they filmed a scene that didn't get included to where the Chatterer gets his eyes in some sort of hellish ceremony. And then they cut it out, so they didn't edit it out very well because he has eyes in some scenes and he does it in other scenes, which has caused the fandom to be really bugged. Personally, I really don't give too much of a shit, but I get it. I get that it's annoying. Yeah. Like, wait, how do you get those eyes?
And then they're gone again.
Right.
What? Yeah.
So, but yeah, pros and cons time. Let's start with cons. How about you?
Cons for this film? I really don't have any. I really enjoy this film. I can't say, except for what you already said about the Chatterer having eyes at sometimes and not. No, I really don't have any cons for this film. I love this film.
I did really enjoy the film as well. I love this movie. But I do have a con, and the con is with the editing. And it's not just the Chatterer parts. There are scenes that you can tell were cut, chopped, and end abruptly, or they start where they shouldn't even start. You could tell that there are scenes that
It didn't bug me.
That have different places they were going in the first place. And you could just feel that the editing was a little choppy in this. That's pretty much my only real con. The director, the director does a good job, but I think that he could have done a much better job considering that the original film was Clive Barker's first movie, and I think he did a much better job directing. But I still really love this movie overall, so I got to give him props where props are due, because I still love the movie. So I think that it has a great fucking atmosphere.
Ooh,
keeps the atmosphere of that first movie and just feels so terrifying.
Yes.
It feels scary. I mean, there's some parts where it gets a little bit silly, kind of like not silly, it may not be the right word, but kind of campy, kind of 80s camp.
Okay.
With Dr. Kennard, like his design of him as a Cenobite with the thing sticking in his head and holding him around and stuff. I mean, it's a little campy to me.
It didn't bother me. It didn't bother me.
It doesn't bother me. I just noticed that it's a little bit less serious looking than Pinhead and all that. Oh, I did have one more con. I forgot.
Okay.
I've totally forgot about this because I forgot my notes. I don't like that Dr. Kennard was able to beat Pinhead like that.
Too easily.
Pinhead was like, he's been a fucking Cenobite forever now. He's like one of the lords and masters, and dude Pinhead literally got shoved to the back in what has basically became his movies, his franchise. And that's a problem I have with this franchise overall. Pinhead, who is the icon of this franchise that kept this franchise alive, gets shoved to the back of his own movies all the time. And we'll get into that more as these movies progress. But I did not like that Kennard beat him so easily. I thought that was kind of lazy writing. I did not enjoy it. I do like that we know Pinhead comes back and puts himself back together again. Wait, sorry, spoiler for the next review. But yeah, I did have that gripe with this film.
Okay.
Yeah, almost forgot about that. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. All right, so I guess we should get into the pros of this film, because there's some great pros for this film. The first pro that I would like to touch on is we do get a tiny bit of backstory for Pinhead, mainly Pinhead.
Mm-hmm.
You get to see the other Cenobites, like, once they get killed, revert to their human form, but you do get a backstory for Pinhead. I do like that. Just a small tidbit of it, not a lot.
Yeah, we don't get the full thing. They do progress that a little more in a couple of the movies. I like that as well. I also like that they find out that all the Cenobites were human before they were Cenobites.
Yeah.
Because their own memories, they thought they were always that way. They thought they've always been that way, but they're not.
And I thought it was creepy that the Chatterer was a little kid.
Yeah, he was a little kid. That was pretty cool.
That was kind of creepy.
My first pro on this is the visuals, man. I love the way the labyrinth looks. The Leviathan configuration, which is like the demon or the god.
The god of this dimension. Yes.
Hell.
Yes, and this is a pro mine.
He's like this. He's basically a diamond-looking obelisk. It's pretty cool. It's cool looking. I kind of wonder if they did it that way because of budgetary considerations, or they didn't think that doing another creature was going to work.
Who knows?
But I thought it looked really cool, especially for the time period. The special effects on this are still really good.
They are.
Just like they were in the first movie.
Yes.
And I will still stack them against some of the quote-unquote great CGI and special effects we have today.
Hell yeah.
I mean, it looked like, yes, the labyrinth looked like a big matte painting, but that's what I love about these kind of films.
It looks great, though.
I love how detailed it is. I love that the care that somebody took to design that. They didn't just sit down at a computer and program an algorithm to do it for them.
Exactly.
They hand painted it. They did everything. I enjoy that. I like that in this. Visually, a stunning film. All the set designs.
Oh, yeah.
There's this room where there's a bunch of women laying on these slabs that come in and out of the wall. And they're under sheets and they're writhing in pleasure and pain. And it just looks fucking amazing. It looks like what you would picture something in hell to look like.
Frank's personal hell.
Yeah, and I really did enjoy it. I thought it looked really, really good.
It did. And this is one of my pros, too, is how this movie the labyrinth and everything looks, it truly feels like it is hell. Because not only do you have personal hells of people, you could get lost there yourself because of the labyrinth style. I love that a lot. The whole labyrinth idea is amazing. Great idea. I don't think we've ever seen anything like this in cinema where it is this way, this big labyrinth of hell.
Not of hell. They've done a couple things that look kind of like that labyrinth.
Yeah, but
especially
hell.
in like Star Trek, things like that. I've seen stuff like that.
Yeah, but hell.
Yeah, it's a little different, but it looks really good. I really enjoy that.
Oh, yeah. My second pro for this movie is Julia's resurrection scene. Just like Frank's, this is a great fucking scene. Just different with the mattress. And the doctor takes that lunatic that thinks that bugs are crawling all over him and gives him a razor. A straight razor that you'd shave with, one of the old school ones. And he just starts cutting himself and the blood just gets on the mattress and she starts resurrecting and drains him the rest of the way. Well, guess what? You gotta give the doc this. He cured him of his bug thing.
That's true.
He didn't. He was trying to get away. He forgot all about the mythological bugs on him. Anymore. Didn't care.
One thing that I thought was cool about the resurrection is when she comes alive and she looks really good in that, no skin suit, basically. Oh, yeah. Looks really cool, really well detailed bodysuit. Looks amazing. And the red of the blood and the muscles and everything, and the blood that she gets on everything, stands out so well against the white of the doctor's house. Oh, and I love the design of that house. I think it's cool. Very, it's got that minimalist look to it, at least except for his study and the crappy room that she's in when she's draining people. Okay. It looks really cool, and I really like, once again, the visuals are just amazing. And I think that, once again, I have to give my next pro, I have to give Claire Higgins immense props. She just blows this role away again.
Nice.
Even without skin, she's awesome.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Amazing acting job. Okay. We're already there. The blood and gore and the practical effects of this film. Mm-hmm. Big con. Big con.
Big pro.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Big pro.
Big pro.
Big pro in this film. The blood, the gore, the practical effects. I'm all about practical effects. Love this film for that.
Yeah, it does really good ones.
It's amazing. Every scene is amazing. When the doctor's getting turned into the Cenobite, it looks great. When Julia is resurrected, it looks amazing. When she's killing other patients. Yeah, they're all patients this time. We go from her seducing men for Frank to drain to her getting mental patients brought to her. Oh, it's kind of like Grubhub, only you get...
And I love that she kept them all like chained up and shit, like in a torture chamber.
Yeah.
And then you see the one that's totally drained and it's like skin and bone, just basically all that's left. And it's totally dehydrated and dried out. And then you see the shadow on the wall when you're not seeing it. And that's the kind of detail I like. A lot of films wouldn't pay attention to that. I like that attention to detail that we get that shadow on the wall still.
Hell yeah. Oh.
Once again, I have to go with the big pro of the Cenobites. Once again, the dialogue that they get is so good. Such great dialogue in this movie.
Yes.
Pinhead does finally have a name. He is now Pinhead. And that name was given to him. I was wrong. It wasn't the fans. It was the crew of the movie, this movie, gave him the name Pinhead. I don't know if it actually shows up at the end of the film. Did it show up at the end? I don't remember.
I don't remember for the credits.
But he does become known as Pinhead from this movie forward. And I love, like I said, the dialogue, the quotes.
That is a huge pro for me as well. Mm-hmm. And that is actually the last big pro I have for this film, just like the last one. The quotes. And right away, I wrote them down. Right away, before the film even starts, we get a quote. And it's fucking awesome. I believe it's from the doctor, though. The suffering. The sweet suffering.
Yeah.
And then another one I really liked was, this is actually my favorite quote of the movie. It's not hands that summon us. It is desire.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
very good quotes.
Quotes in this movie are amazing too.
And I like, kind of like in Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2, they use footage from the original movie to move the story along at the beginning of this film.
Yeah, move it a little faster.
They don't do it for 45 minutes like that movie does, and that's what most of the movie is, just rehashing the first movie. But this movie, they do use the parts well. They integrate it very well, and it just brings the story around. So overall, guys, I got to say, Hellbound, Hellraiser 2, we like the movie.
It's a great film.
You got to check it out if you haven't seen it yet. If you haven't, where the fuck have you been? Queenie, I know you're going to like this review. You like anything Hellraiser.
Hell yeah.
This is BroncoJuggalo saying, see you next time. Peace.
And Bill saying, good night.
Oh, yeah, come on. There's no chance of that happening again. What's the worst that could happen?
Hey, what the fuck? Who the hell turned off the lights?
What the fuck?
Turn the lights, Spirited! Huh?
Who the fuck are you?
Bronco Lone Star. It is you again. How dare you summon the great Darth Bill?
Dude, you got the wrong fucking house. Where the fuck are you doing here?
You summon me and nobody summons the great Darth Bill. Except for Darth Bill.
Okay, back to where you go.
You can't keep me locked in here forever. I will get out and I will kill you.
Okay, let's just shut that. Okay. Okay, glad that shit's over. What the fuck, man? This thing is fucking weird. You know what? I'm going to put this where nobody can get a hold of it again. I'm going to shove it up somebody's ass.
Try your own.
We have such sights to show you.
These bitches got me fucked up. Put a hole in your chest.